So switching gears here to someone that a lot of the people who are watching live here are very familiar with. Zion Nelson, former Miami offensive tackle. He's transferring to SMU, and this is a name that's been around college football for a while now. You and I are familiar with his career back to when he committed to Miami as a really unheralded recruit out of the North Carolina area, South Carolina, and was committed to actually App State, I believe, at the time. That's why I said North Carolina, but was a skinny guy, 6'5", 235 pounds or so when he committed to Miami. Ended up starting his first game at Miami against the Florida Gators, against some really good pass rushers on the other side there, and got beat up pretty badly, but quickly turned himself into a draft prospect. A couple years ago, he was showing up in first-round mock drafts. Mel Kiper had him as his top tackle in the draft. And look, as an agent at the time, I never personally heard he was a first-round pick. There was a lot more, fourth, fifth round type talk with him, but he was a real NFL draft prospect nonetheless. And from one day to the next, man, had this knee injury, kept hearing he was he was working himself back. Never really happened at Miami. Ends up redshirting a couple years ago, sits out the whole season, still working himself back, and then medically retires before the season, right? So when his name popped in the portal a few weeks back, Miami fans were like, what? Where did this come from? So this was a very surprising development, but lands at SMU with Rhett Lashley, someone he has a lot of familiarity with.
And it's going to be 100% a medical question, right? I personally saw Zion Nelson practice in camp. I want to say it was spring. He practiced in pads, probably just to see where he was
fall
at.
Camp. I want to say it was August. I want to say it was August. Yeah.
But I was there. I saw it with my eyes. He was kind of like seeing Bigfoot to see this guy after so many years actually practicing, and he looked okay. But then afterwards, you hear he's medically retiring. So whatever the reaction was and whatever the evaluation wasn't good enough. But if this guy can play, and it's funny because it wasn't a catastrophic knee injury, right? It wasn't like he just blew out his knee and you knew it was a nightmare. It was something that was just sort of deteriorating and chronic, right? If he can play, first of all, 32 starts at left tackle with great athleticism and enough size, no brainer as a physical talent, NFL type physical talent. On top of that, his best seasons were under Rhett Lashley and current Southern Methodist offensive line coach Garen Justice, who was the offensive line coach for Miami when Zion was really at his peak. So if he is healthy, no brainer, easy starter at left tackle, and is going to make a big impact in the ACC and really help this team perform. If he's not healthy, he's not there. But I think from an SMU standpoint, it just makes a ton of sense as a fit that if this guy's going to play college football, he should be playing for Miami. They did have Ja'Kai Clark at center, another former Miami player who was the center on the offensive lines with Zion Nelson, and he did his job. But Zion's upside as a left tackle is significant, and more really than anybody on this SMU offensive line. This is an NFL type left tackle if he can be healthy.
Yeah, and it's the medical issue. Can he get back to the speed of the game, because he hasn't played in a game in 3 seasons now, that it's going to be by the time the season kicks off. And Dudu saying I thought he medically retired, which yeah, man, he had. And I wonder if he was looking to get an insurance settlement or something from the situation. But I'm glad to hear that he's going to give it a go again, honestly, right? Like, it's unfortunate that it didn't work out for him here in Miami, but the guy with a lot of talent, and you hope that he can find it again. You hope that he's healthy and can, live out that dream of playing in the NFL one day.
Yeah, and his best chance is going to be here with people who know him, people who have seen him at his best, and who know what he can do. So I think this is a perfect fit. Is really going to come out to health, but if he's healthy, SMU has landed another Miami Hurricane transfer that can impact their program, help them get back to Charlotte. We talked about Brashard Smith at running back, one of their best players, Ja'Kai Clark at center. Their pass rush, which was one of the better pass rushes in the ACC. You had Elijah Roberts. Jafari Harvey, Jared Harrison Hunt. Again, these are all Miami transfers who have made a significant impact for SMU. They picked up Chris Johnson in the offseason, probably one of the fastest players in America, running back from Miami. So the Miami pipeline to SMU continues, and Zion, if he's healthy, would be an impact addition in the ACC, would immediately become one of the better offensive tackles in the conference.